All right, Robin, thank you so much. And welcome, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for your patience with the technical delays. Um, Golly, peek. Feel like I'm playing peekaboo over this monitor up here. Um, anyway, welcome everybody. You are at Hello Computer, uh, empowering lives through video control, my journey. Uh, Hello Computer. Does that ring a bell with anybody? Does anybody know what movie that's from? Anybody? Whoa, man. All right, got a good group in here. All right, we're going to see that here in a minute. So I am Dave D. That rhymes with accessibility. Uh, let's see, next slide. There I am. That's me. Picture me. And LinkedIn.com/IN, and then my name, David Dauber, David Dauber. There's also a QR code up on the screen. That would be on your lower left. If you want to scan that with your phone, feel free to look me up on LinkedIn. Send me a message. Tell me, oh man, you really got that wrong. Or, hey, I found out a way to do this with voice control, or whatever. I would really like to know more about whatever that may be. Because I love talking about voice control and helping people in all aspects, whether you're a developer, whether you're a voice control user, or maybe you have somebody in your family that's trying to figure out, oh, I'm not very good at typing. I sure would like to be able to use my voice to use my computer. And that's how I started out myself, was wanting to use my voice to operate my computer. Here I am in 1986 as a freshman in high school. Here I am with my buddies. Man, that picture looks like a lot of mischief, doesn't it? And yeah, it was right. It was right. My freshman year of high school was definitely full of mischief. Wheelchair or not. I mean, people in wheelchairs don't ever get into trouble, right? Um, Surely not. Anyway, in 1986, I saw this movie, and here is a little clip from it.
Engineer motions to computer.
Please.
Scotty sits at computer.
Computer? Computer?
McCoy hands Scotty computer mouse. Scotty speaks into the mouse.
Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
The keyboard. How quaint.
So, in 1986, when this movie came out, I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so great if I could just talk to the computer and tell it what I wanted to do. Oh my gosh. I tried talking into the mouse when I got home, and of course it didn't work. But now today, awesome things have happened.
Engineer motions
Specifically,
to computer.
come on, there we go. Mac OS. Let's see if that works. Okay. Mac OS Sequoia. I'm on 15.5 beta 1 on my Mac OS. Now, I am also running voice control with my iPhone, and they work very, very close. There's a couple differences. On my Mac, I will say click when I want to activate something. And on my phone, I will say tap or touch. Yes, tap. Very good. And then it went to the next screen because I said tap. Yeah, you got to be careful what you say sometimes, right? Sometimes it does not work very well when you're doing a talk. And also when you're using voice control, sometimes when your son comes into the room and starts yelling about, I did take out the trash and whatever, you can actually be typing that email to your boss. but we try not to do that. Anyway, kind of getting ahead of myself. So voice control, I love to use it on my Mac. Now, I know there's some other tools out there. There's Drag and Dictate. There's Voice Assist on Windows. And I've tried them. And maybe it's because I got started with voice control that I like it the best, but I've had a lot more luck with voice control than I've had with any of the others. So I really prefer it and gravitate towards the Mac. And one of the cool things about having it on your Mac is that you have it on your Mac, right? It doesn't matter. You buy a Mac, you've got voice control. You don't have to install any other software. You don't have to buy any other software. It comes in the operating system under the accessibility controls on your Mac. So if you wanted to, if you're sitting there with a Mac in front of you right now, you could turn this on. Just go into System Settings, underneath Accessibility, and then there'll be a voice control setting, and you flip it on. And that's it. It may take a few minutes or so, depending on your Wi-Fi connection, but it's going to download some voices and other code for you when you first turn it on. So have a little bit of patience, but it won't take long. Then the next thing you'll have to have some patience on is learning it. Because you do have to learn what to say, right? You say click, or you say tap, or whatever the case may be. There's move up, there's move down, there's scroll up, there's scroll down. You can double click, all kinds of things, and you just start remembering those codes and exactly what to say as you go on. So, and I've been doing it for years, and there are sometimes I forget what word I need to say or what I need to do or how I can do this. So, but turning it on with the Mac, great. Click. See that? That's pretty cool, huh? Okay, so a couple commands to remember at the very beginning are go to sleep is one command. I think it even heard me even though I whispered. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. That wasn't a command for you. Wake up. No, no, no. I mean, wake up. Wake up. There it is. Can you see that at the top of the screen, or is it blocking it? Does it show you? Yeah, so it gives you some notification of what you're saying. So when I do say go to sleep, go to sleep, and now I say click, click, click. It's not changing the screen anymore, right? That's because I told it to go to sleep. So it went to sleep. It's no longer listening to me. So that's what I have to say when my son comes running in the room. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Dad, it's not time for bed yet. So I say go to sleep, and that makes the computer stop listening to me. And then if I say wake up, wake up, click, go to sleep. Okay, those are the two most important commands, right? You want to learn those first. So we got those down. Now I want to talk about the different modes that voice control has. The first mode is command mode. That's the one you're going to mostly be in. That's click OK, go to the next page, open Chrome, open Notes, open Mail, create new mail, all of that stuff, right? Dictation mode. That's where it will go into full writing mode, to where you can write a note, write a letter, write an email, whatever the case may be. It's going to listen to you, and it's going to type everything out for you. And then the third mode is a newer mode. It's just been out maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And that's where you can actually spell. So I can say spelling mode, and then I can go in and I can spell out maybe my password or something that needs to just have spelling. Maybe my name. If I say David Dauber, it may not pick it up right. So I need to, especially with my last name, it might spell that wrong. So I can go into spelling mode and say Dauber. If I wanted to spell out my name, I could. I could also say Delta, Alpha, Umbrella. And it would take the first letter of each of those words and put it into and spell it out for me, which is kind of cool if it doesn't understand my pronunciation of B. If I say B and it writes a D, that, it can be frustrating, but yeah, then I can go and switch to say Delta, and then it will do that. Sure. We'll get you the mic.
Thanks. When you say Delta, like, does it have to be Delta or could it be Dave or?
Dave, Delta works better. Like the military, I don't know. There's
Yeah,
a
like,
name
do you
for
have
that,
to know
right?
all the military ones?
Right,
Or like,
there's a
if
name
you
for
know
that.
R, could I
Right,
say
right.
bread or something, or would it have to have the specific?
I think it has to have the specific, but I'm going to tell you what. We're going to try it. Right. So that's a great thing. And I do that all the time, right? If you're not sure, try. There's a lot of heads going, yep. That's what we do. We try it. And that's great. And I do that a lot too. So we're going to try that. I think it has to be like Delta, Alpha, Bravo. But when we're going to type a note here in a minute, we'll enter spelling mode and see what happens. Wake up. Wake up. Click. Oh, speaking of live demos, now's the time. Double click. Press escape key. Click minimize. Click minimize. Click minimize. Click minimize. Click window. Open PowerPoint. Click window. I think Zoom is playing tricks on me a little bit. Click window. Show numbers. Show numbers. Open notes. Select all. Access you. Delete previous word. Backspace. Spelling mode. Umbrella. Umbrella. You. You. Backspace. Capital U. Space. Space. Press space key. 2. 0. Backspace. What is the call sign for you? Anybody? Is it umbrella?
Uniform.
Uniform. Backspace. 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 Uniform. Capital uniform. Delete previous 2 characters. Capital uniform. New line. Next line. Go to sleep. Okay, so there's your answer. So we tried umbrella first and nothing came up. It just stared at me. It did show me the ABCs, and that was telling me that I'm in dictation mode and you're trying to say a word. I don't know what you're talking about, pretty much. I mean, I'm elaborating there, of course. But that's what it's doing by showing me the ABCs that are coming up on the screen. And for anybody that's in the audience, if you're not seeing the screen and I start saying something, maybe even if you're on Zoom, if you'll type something in the chat, if I start explaining something and I am not speaking clearly about what's going on the screen and you're lost, raise your hand or put something in notes, in the notes on Zoom, so that I don't want to leave anybody in the dust. So I'm going to try to explain the best I can of what's going on the screen, but please stop me or let me know if you get lost. All right, great. All right, so now we have Access capital U at the top of the screen. Let's turn on dictation mode and let's write a note. Wake up. Today is a great day at Access U, period. Oh, we're still in spelling mode. Dictation mode. Dictation mode. Go to sleep. Okay, so it did finally say dictation mode at the top of the screen. For some of the commands, it's looking for a blank space in between what you're saying. To change commands, to put on different overlays. We're going to talk about overlays here really shortly. But to switch anything, it likes to have a little pause between it. So you might notice me pausing as we go along and I'm speaking the phrases. So it's not quite as clear as, Star Trek was, where he just starts rolling off and talking to the computer. We're not quite there yet, but I think we are getting a lot closer with some of the AI stuff. Sure. I think we have a hand coming up over in the corner. Can you hang on 1 second while we get the mic to you?
So I was just wondering if there's the option, how it gives the little visual feedback of like you're in dictation mode or it's gone to sleep. Is there the option to give that as like auditory feedback, or is it only visual feedback?
Oh, like that it's gone to sleep?
Yeah. Can it ever, say, I've gone to sleep, to announce that as well as just to put it up on the screen?
Yes, I think there is.
Okay. Thank you.
I do think there's a setting in voice control that it will also give verbal feedback on that voice control screen. I have not tried it because I'm not sure if it would type it back to itself. Yeah, but because I do have that happen sometimes. And one of those examples is of typing back to itself is strangely enough, I have my clock on my computer, and then every hour Siri comes on and says, it's now 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. I don't know if anybody else has that set up, but I'll be typing a text message to somebody talking, and all of a sudden in the middle of it, guess what I get? It's 10 o'clock. And I got to go back and delete that. But yes, so I would be afraid that the verbal cue would go back and maybe type that out again if it was saying it, but I would have to look. I do believe that there is a switch for it, but great question. Yeah. And I don't know if you turned on VoiceOver on your computer, if VoiceOver would then read that prompt. It may be. And you're trying it, aren't you? Yeah. See, I love that. I love that about this conference. And no, go ahead, try it. Go for it and let us know what you find out. That's cool. See, these people at this conference are so cool. You all are so cool because that's just right. You're like me. You're like, oh, somebody's asked a question about that. I got to figure out if I can do that. And they do it right now. So, yeah, it's great. So let's get back to our note. Let's try to type a note. Wake up. I am at Access U this year. Period. And I am talking about voice control on the Mac OS. Period. We are learning about things that it will type in dictation mode. Period. I could keep talking for days on this subject. Period. Because I really love everything about it. Period. Sometimes people even ask me questions. Period. Like, will voice control read the prompts out loud to me? Question mark. How do I know what the prompts are if I can't see them? Period. What if I'm blind? Question mark. How will I ever know what it's saying to me? Question mark. I just don't know what to do. Period. This is typing pretty well. Period. Isn't it? Question mark. What do y'all think? Question mark. I love being at Access U. Period. Go to sleep. Okay, so not too bad. Pretty accurate, right? But did it miss anything? What did we miss? Oh, okay, and Access U. And of course, Access U, that's not spelled right again, right? Yeah. Got another question. Hang on. Robin's getting her exercise today.
So when you're in more complex documents, like you're writing something for work and you have to go into longer sentences, complex sentences, lists, things like that. How are you doing that?
Pretty much the same way. I mean, complex sentence, I have it on so that I do my commas and my periods. I find that easier to do. Another thing about the Windows is sometimes if I'm doing dictation in Windows, if I just click on dictation under Word, for example, it wants to put the periods and the commas in there. And a lot of times I don't want it to.
What about like when you're applying heading styles and such?
I'm sorry?
When you're applying heading styles and such, like in Word,
Line heading styles. Okay.
applying them?
Wake up. A new line. Heading 2. Select all. Go to end. This Zoom things keeps getting in my way. Okay. 43. Click subheading. New line. Set to subheading 2. Select all. Oops. Select the last sentence. Oh. Now that is great for a demo. A new line. So we can go into the settings up above but I wasn't able to like set it to that type of, that style that we wanted to. Now, I don't know, it might do that in Word. Open Word.
Right over here. For your oops, instead of Control Z, can you do undo?
Mm-hmm.
And it would go back. Okay.
Can do undo.
Undo. Okay.
Click cancel. Click cancel. Show numbers. I don't want to upload a new version. Click cancel. Click cancel. Okay, so Microsoft did not do this correctly. Show grid. 11. Tap 17. I said tap. I do that all the time. I mean to say click and I say tap. 19. 19. 18. Open Word. 37. Show numbers.
Yeah. I was wondering, I hope I'm not mixing this up with Windows Voice Access, but is there anything you do to allow it to dictate swear words?
Dictate, I'm sorry,
Swear words?
swear words.
Yeah.
You did that on purpose. You just want to hear me swear in the middle of Access You.
Like I
I
always
know,
swear at voice
I know.
control and it never picks it up or it does
New
leaves
line.
it out.
What are we doing here? Question mark. Who are these people? Question mark. New line. What else can we type? Question mark. New line. Style heading 2. Heading 2. Is this a heading 2? Is this a heading 2? I think you broke it. Oh, it's finally catching up. Period. Is that what we wanted to type? Question mark? Shit. Come on. We're going to find out. It does not like it when you swear at it. There it is. Okay, it's there. 34. 36. Oh, that's 35. Anyway, click minimize. Open notes. So we're back to our note. New line. And we have just discovered in this class that we can type swear words. Period. What a tremendous joy. Exclamation point. Open settings. Let's fix a problem. 27. Click voice control. Click voice control. Scroll down. Scroll down. Click voice control. Click vocabulary. Click 20. Double click 20. I thought I had that set up. Let's try another one. 24. 24. 23. 22. Access. Capitalize uniform. Hang on, Carmen. Hang on to that question. Scratch that. Capital uniform. Oh, I'm not in spelling mode. Delete previous word. Delete previous word. 18. 8. All right, I know I'm running out of memory. Click. Delete previous word. Backspace. Command mode. Spelling mode. Capital U. Capital U. Spelling mode. Capital U. 23. 20. Access U. 22. See where we're going now? 24. 24. Click done. Open notes. Dictation mode. New line. Now we should be able to spell Access U. Period. Access U. And the crowd goes wild. Period. Go to sleep. So with vocabulary, I had it in there. I had done it before because I say Access U a lot when I'm typing emails and things. So I wanted to correct it so it didn't do the two words, access and U. So I went into vocabulary and I set up a recording of me saying the word Access U. And then it should type it ACCESS capital U. And it didn't work the first time. I'm not sure why, but it did the second time. So that was a good thing. So you can go in there and do that with different words. My wife's name is in there too. Her name is Terry, and she spells it with an I, right? And that's pretty darn important to her. And if I'm typing out an email and say, Terry, can you pick up some milk on your way home? And that email types out TERRY and sends it, exactly. You know, I'm in trouble that night, right? When she gets home, because I misspelled her name. So this is pretty important that I get this vocabulary in there and it goes right. Robin, how are we doing on time? We got started a little bit late, so I'm running a little bit late. And
we're at 25 after
okay, and we stop at
the hour
I'm sorry?
at 10.
At 10. Okay, we've got a little bit more time. So that's good, and keep the questions coming. If I don't make it through my material, then we've still learned something, I hope, right? So, and sometimes I will go back with the mouse. All right. So I am going to open back up the slides. Okay, so we did. All right, so there's 4 ways to navigate it, and I've already been doing some of this stuff. Basically, just say it. Click OK, or click Play, or click File, click Window, whatever the label is that we see on the screen. We want to be able to say click and do that, right? That's great. Now, sometimes when we get in there, we'll say click OK. Sits there and looks at you. Click OK. Still sits there and looks at you. Because the name is not OK. It's been programmed to be something else. So in order to fix that, Apple has done something great called show labels or show names, which I gave it away. Show names is actually going to show the accessible label of whatever the item might be. So I can use show names and see what that button is actually named, and then I have to say click that button's name. Okay, so that's one way that we can do it, is show names. And I have on here flash warning because it's going to show you the names, and as we do that, they kind of, if there's more than can fit on the screen in the little box, they're going to kind of flash. So just there's a little flash warning there. I don't want to set any seizures off or anything like that. So if we demo that or try it, just remember, if I say show names, close your eyes real quick so that you don't see that part. The third one is show numbers. That's one I use a lot. And that's one you've already seen me using. Show numbers will put a number next to each interactive element. And I can just say click 43, or I could just say 43 and it will go there. I don't necessarily always have to say click that number. Just show numbers 34, 32, 54. You can go pretty quick just by saying the numbers. But you do have to be able to see where they are on the screen. And then the fourth one, the one that I like to do least, is show grid. And I did that once when I couldn't get to the label on anything. And it didn't even have numbers on it. So I did a show grid, which will always work, and put squares on the screen. And then you just go down square by square until you get to the square where you can click on. And I can do that. Now, there is a fourth way to navigate, or fifth way, that I don't have listed on here because I just started using it fairly recently. But if the mouse cursor is on my screen and I want to click a button that's just a little bit to the right of it, I can say move mouse right 10 pixels. 20 pixels, move mouse right 50 pixels. Now, I am not going to sit there and count every little pixel that I want the mouse to move. So this is a guesstimation, right? And it may take me 6 times to get the mouse to where I want to, but I can get it to that button eventually and just say click. And I do that a lot if I notice that the mouse is really close to it, and I'm getting better and better at guessing pixels. So I'm sure if you're in the room and you're one of those designers, you can probably tell me exactly how many pixels are over to that button. So those are some ways that I can navigate using voice control. And I will say, I use show numbers most of the time. I do like to use show names when I can because, or not show names, but I like to do it without any overlays, because that's the cleanest. I can see the screen as it is and not need any other help, which all of the help mechanisms do cover the screen a bit. Especially if there's a lot of interactive elements, even doing numbers, you've covered up half the screen. And if you're trying to read emails or even just subject lines, they're covered with so many numbers you can't read them. Got a question?
If you have a short label with a long accessible name, does voice control also react to the short label?
It does not. It's going to react to the accessible name on voice control.
Do you think they want to change that in the future? Or?
I imagine that's coming to macOS. It is on iOS as of, I think maybe 3 months ago. If you're on your iPhone now, that you can do, when you do show labels, it only uses the first word of the label. So now I can just say click OK. If the button's OK button, I just say click OK. It's always the first, it's only the first name now. And like I said, they just changed that not long ago. So that has helped me with the labels on the phone. I guess because the real estate is so much smaller, sometimes it could be truncated, and now all I have to do is say the first name. So yeah, did you have? Okay, great.
Yeah, that's something I was wondering about because I found when I've tested on iOS and Android that Android is much more forgiving of taking partial labels.
I've heard that.
And so, whereas especially if the accessible name is really long on iOS, I found I had to read the entire thing. So this sounds great that they're getting better at that. Do you know, does that only work when you're saying show names, or does that work all the time?
It'll work all the time.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. So all I have to do is say the first name of the label. I don't have to do show labels anymore.
That's great.
So then on, you know, the dreaded web pages that have 500 read mores and things like that, that they didn't change the names to correctly reflect where you're actually going, and the labels are, you know, visual label, programmatic label, both read more. How do you choose between those? Are you doing numbers? Are you doing grid? Are you?
Carmen has been like one step ahead of me all
am I
day.
skipping? Sorry. I'm like, I want to know all of it.
I know, you're doing great. I'm not going fast enough. Is that the problem? Yeah. I am going to get to that here really, really shortly. But thanks for asking that, because yeah, that is a great question. And golly, we're 3 slides from that. Click. Wake up. Click. Go to sleep. Okay, so where do the names come from? Well, kind of already gotten to that, right? It comes from the label. Up at the very, very top here, I'm actually on Amazon's page, and it's in the top banner or carousel, and it's an advertisement for medication, and it says, "Your medication delivered, Amazon Pharmacy." Your medication delivered, Amazon Pharmacy. That's the heading. That's the label for this thing. So if I clicked anywhere in here, I would go to the medication part of the pharmacy. So let's, and down at the very bottom, I've got the inspect opened. That's way too small to see, even with me sitting right in front of the screen. So let's zoom in on that a little bit. Wake up. Wake up. Click. Go to sleep. Okay. Your medication delivered. I was saying click your medication delivered, and it was doing absolutely nothing. So I did show labels. Can anybody see what the label says? Yep. So the label says Amazon Pharmacy, your medication delivered. That's the actual coded label. But when I see it on the screen, I see your medication delivered, Amazon Pharmacy. So I kept saying click, and it just looked at me like, well, I don't know what to click, because the label is actually labeled as Amazon Pharmacy, your medication delivered. That's backwards from what I see on the screen. Click. Wake up. Wake up. Click. All right. So we have 3 cards on the screen. One with a picture and a label that says lions, another one with a picture of tigers that says tiger, and a bear that says bears. And there's some small text underneath each one. And then down at the very bottom is the provocative, always seen, read more button. So here we are. If I click that first read more button, where am I gonna go? To lions, okay. If I click the first read more button, I'm gonna go to lions. The second one, where would I go? To tigers, yeah. And the third one, bears. Click. Okay, I do show names. Sure enough, read more, read more, read more. So on this screen, if I said click read more, since they're all labeled read more, it would show me numbers next to it, 1, 2, and 3. So then I could follow up and I could say click 2. All right. So is that gonna satisfy everybody? Are there any questions on Zoom, by the way? No questions coming up? Is that gonna satisfy everybody to see read more 3 times? If you, no, you're shaking your head no. How come? The label, okay. Sorry, I should have had you get the mic. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Robin. If you have something.
I mean, it won't work for everything because it'll still, well, then you have to. Okay, now I'm blinking out. I'm so sorry. I was gonna say, it won't work for like if you're pulling out what all the links are on the page, like in other areas, it wouldn't be able to differentiate. And then you'd have to see the numbers too, right?
I think you're really, really close to what, I think you're really, really close. This is an accessibility plate, screen readers.
Right.
So what about screen readers?
Right. If you pull out the links, it's just going to have read more, but it's not going to give you the additional context
Additional content of
what you're going to be reading. So it'd be like read more about the lions, read more about tigers, but it doesn't. So you can't differentiate.
Okay. So in order to program for a screen reader user, you're going to do like an ARIA on it, right? Maybe an ARIA label and make it say read more about lions, read more about tigers, read more about bears. Is that what you're going to do as a developer? Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Just make the lion part the link, or
Okay.
more
So
about lions, more about tigers, more about bears would be the label.
oh, so you'd want to change the label too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a step back. Okay, we're going to do ARIA, right? Because that's what we do a lot. We don't need to change the label on the screen necessarily. It can be read more, but we do want to make sure that somebody using a screen reader gets what they need. So they want it to say read more about lions. They're going to do that with ARIA, right? Is that how you're going to do it? I want to fight you in the parking lot after we're done. Right? No, I'm just kidding. I really don't want to fight. But you're going to mess me up. Right? Click. So I'm going to see the 1, 2, 3. If it's just programmed with read more, click. So now you've programmed it with read more about lions, read more about tigers, and read more about bears. If I don't do show label, I'm going to say click read more, and I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to sit there because unless I do show labels, or I'm sorry, show names and have it actually show me what the accessible label is, which I can do. I can do that. Click. Or what we could have done is like Carmen was saying, let's just make the label on the button say read more about lions, right? Read more about tigers, read more about bears. Then you satisfy both groups that need that help. So, okay, we're not fighting anymore. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, we got a question.
Do you have an example with ARIA described by? Like for all of those read mores, you could use ARIA described by to programmatically append that.
Of what was up above, but it's still going to change the
How did that-
accessible name, right?
So yeah, so how does that impact you? What does it show when you do show
It would
names?
do the accessible name.
Okay.
So it's going to show when I do the show, it's going to say read more about the description, tigers, bears. Yeah.
Okay. I have one more question. So a lot of times people will put a link around a whole card. So for our voice control, does that mean that you would have to say, lions, a lion is an animal that lives in Africa and blah, 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 blah. And here's the blah, 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 and read more. So you'd have to say all of that to activate it?
Show numbers.
Yeah.
Right. And I have seen buttons with labels that long that are just like crazy. Or they'll show like the first 5 words and do ... And then you can say those 5 words. So I think it does have like a limit to it of how much you have to say, but even a lot of times at 5 words, that's too many. That's 4 words too many. So I really like what they're doing with iOS, where you only have to say the 1 word now. And I'm guessing that within no time at all, probably before I give the talk next year, on the same thing, it'll be 1 word. So you can all come back and hear a whole different story.
So
Hang on, we've got one here first, and then we'll be over to you.
so for 3 questions actually. So for iOS with the read more, if you're just saying if there's 5 of them on the page and you're just saying read, is it giving you kind of the same thing? Where
Yeah, it'll give me it'll give me the numbers. It'll
Okay.
show me numbers after, if I say read, and there's 16 read mores on the screen,
Okay.
it'll give me a number for each one, and then I just say number.
So I did want to clarify, I wouldn't rename those buttons. I would ask them to completely rework that to where I didn't have 5 read mores. I hate those.
Okay.
So those are like the bane of, so the agency I work for now, I'm like, no, I'm sorry. You just can't have them.
Oh, okay.
And so the other part of that is when you're doing web testing, have you found that you're finding things using voice control that are different than the other testing methods you're using? So we can get to the names, in multiple ways, right? Like I can use a screen reader, I can do quote inspection, I can use Andy, all different things, right? Are you finding, in reading order and tab order and all of that, are you finding that testing with voice control is worth the time and effort to do it because you are finding different failures or non-conformance issues?
I wouldn't really say different failures. And I don't know that I'm testing it as much as I'm just using it. Just opening up as a user and doing it rather than using it as a testing method. But I do test web pages using voice control too. So most of it is just the stuff that I find. I'm trying to answer your question, and no, I really don't find any other differences. But I do the show labels, and sometimes if it's different than what I see on the screen, then I raise my hand and say, we need to fix this because I'm trying to read what's on the screen and it's not going anywhere. So.
Ask my question, so we're all good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. Do we want to play? Do we want to look at a website?
Yes.
Somebody have a website that they want to look at? All right. Let's do this. Somebody pick a hobby. Click escape. Press escape key. Okay, is there anybody on Zoom? Somebody on Zoom? One person? All right, Zoom person, give me a number. Open Chrome. 34. Knitting. Press return key. We got a number yet? 108. Okay, somebody give me a number. 7. All right. Oh, you would have to pick a big number. Scroll down. Scroll down. Okay. None of the AI. Okay, we're not going to do video. Scroll down. Scroll down. All right, there's 1. Scroll down. Scroll down. Wow, we got a lot of places. Scroll down. I was going to go to number 7. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. We better not go to Reddit. We might get in trouble. Oh, here we go. 89. That's almost the 7th one down. 89. 89. Okay, here we are. Hide numbers. So we're on a site. Scroll down. Scroll down. Move up. Move up. See how it's moving up just a little bit? Move up. So we're getting just like 5 or 6 lines on a move up, but if we really want to go down quick, scroll down. Scroll up.
Do you find that, other than the naming issue, which we've already talked about, that websites that are fairly non-conformant, which I would assume this one would be, are still fairly navigable with voice control as opposed to like if you were using a screen reader or something like that?
I think so. Yeah. They work a lot. But I mean, let's see what we get here on this site. So far we were able to scroll up and down. Let's look for home. So it's telling me, it's telling me at the very top, it said open home. Try that. I don't really want to do that. So click home. Click home. Click home. Click home 1706. 1. What? Hide numbers. Scroll down. Scroll down. Oh, it did click it and then it went back to the top. So it reset the focus because it reset to home. So I was trying to say click home at first because that's what it looks like to me. It's a checkbox for home. But I wasn't saying the number that's after it. There's 1,706 items for home. And for me to be able to click that button, I also had to say 1706. To me, I would have rather just had the label be home and not have that number be part of it. But then what happens if you're listening to it with a screen reader and you hit that label? And I want it to be home, but the screen reader user, I mean, they really need to know that number too, because I can see it visually. So again, out to the parking lot we go, right? So yeah, I mean, I can learn how to use this site, maybe. We got another question.
I know we're wrapping up. I was gonna say, we have those cards on our homepage. So like, if you wanted to, I can do it at home too, see how it works. Like, I don't know how it would work, but at apa.org, we have on the homepage, like where the whole thing lights up. Because we were struggling with the links and not wanting to have the read more, do that, blah, blah, blah. So we made the whole thing a link.
Okay. Let's see. Show numbers. Click 7. apa.org. Press return key. Hide numbers. Okay, where are we? Scroll down. Learn more. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Is there someplace else? What?
Like, see how the whole block lights up? Like, that whole thing is the link. So I don't know if you said, like, all the little things, those are like the cards. So that whole thing is coded as the link, I think.
Click APA divisions. 1. Go back. Go back. Click back. Click high school teachers. Click back. Click undergraduate educators. Okay, we're going there.
So were you saying that each one of those, the box, that whole thing was selectable? Oh.
Because had a little bit of a discussion about the links, underline or not underline. Because here they're all underlined.
Yeah.
But in the, on the homepage, not to have all.
Right.
The designers wanted it black and it was a concern for me, like, how do you know if it's a link? So we made the entire bar.
Oh, Dave, will you go back?
Click back. Man, the hands are flying now.
So the APA community,
Scroll
that
up.
whole thing
If
is,
you scroll up, you'll see like, and you can scroll up one more time.
Scroll up.
The images with it, but we redid it so that. Yeah, and,
like
Click.
the press releases?
Oh, I didn't mean to click. Click go back. I didn't mean to do that. Click back. Move up. Move down. Move down. Move down. Move down. Move down. Move down. I can see that whole card is something. So, but I'm guessing it's just the good karma for me, bad karma for you. Let's look and see what we get. Show labels. Show names. I did do that all the time. Show names. Press release, good karma is the image. So And then down below, it's more news. Click more news. Okay, so we did get to that spot, right? Or no, it's not the good karma. It's just more, it's overall everything.
So if you go back, I
Click
made them-
back.
on our public site, I made them get rid of those selectable boxes because I hate them and because you end up with those things. And so we have it to where like if the image is not decorative, which these are, then they would have alt text or whatever. And then you would have the press release and then you would have good karma would be the link. And that, and then you would have the more news link. But because when you're on that box and you see good karma for me, bad karma for you with an underline, you expect to go directly to that article. And then the more news link would take you to more news. But if you're just selecting that box and it has all that information in there, and ours had like a full paragraph in each little section. And I'm not saying this is the right or the only even option. I'm just saying this is how we fixed it. Because there was just too much in a selectable thing for then having a label. So I always try to make sure that the labels are super short.
I might also say on here, I might say click speaking of psychology. Right? Because that's what it looks like. Click speaking of psychology. But that's not the name at all. It's podcast, how moms can ... Scroll up.
Yeah, those psychology topics, those don't have anything. Those are just what the topics are, so.
Click mind over misformation. Click mind over misinformation. Yeah, and it's not misinformation, it's opens in new window. The label is opens in new window. Right? Right? It's not the mind over misinformation, it's open in new window. That one I would say, hey, developer, that we need to do something with. All right, we've got one more question over here. We're getting close to end of time. Oh, we got lots of questions. All right, I love it.
A quick an idea for how to handle those cards with sort of a pretty flexible ways. Hayden Pickering has a good like inclusive card component where you sort of just add the title itself is the link, and then it sort of minimizes excess tab stops and also adds just a cursor event for clicking the background of the card, so you don't have to wrap the whole thing in a link. You can just add a click event, and that's good because it's just for mouse users or voice control users, I guess. And if you say the name of just the link, it will activate that, so it doesn't get all that other extra descriptive stuff. And so there's a few nuances there to look into, but Hayden Pickering, yeah, it's if you look up like inclusive components, he has a good article on a few of the different options. Yeah.
Kind of a different topic entirely. I was wondering, with a lot of those like rich text edits that are popping up on websites like social media sites like Facebook or Twitter, which will forever be Twitter, or Blue Sky or any of those where, they have like links inserted and it's all like rich editing. I was wondering if you spent much time using them and run into any like dictation issues. Because I've seen a lot of them have, when I test, I've seen a lot of them have issues with like go to start, go to end, select all, delete, delete that, things like that. And I was wondering if I was doing it wrong or if you'd run into anything, or if you had any workarounds.
I'm not sure I've tried that, to be honest. Go to end, yeah, you saw me doing some of that on the sentences. If it was a really, really long link, that would be hard to go to. Is that kind of what you're?
Oh, I mean, like the compose boxes, like if you go to Facebook and start typing a new message, or that sort of like any sort of rich compose box where it's not just a regular text box. You can like mention people and.
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that.
And can I say go to end and go to beginning?
Yeah, and I've seen various commands just fail or like keep the first letter in when you select all, delete, or go to start, stuff like that.
I think I've been okay. But now that you mention that, there are some times where it doesn't perform right and I'm hitting my hand on the desk. So there might be some that are like overriding some of that and making it so that I can't do it. So now you've got me wondering, and I'm going to go test myself some of those components. So I'll go try them, and if I find it, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
And if you all have trouble with, I hope this is just the beginning of a discussion, but I work for Nelnet on the accessibility team. We do training, audits, all that fun stuff. Robin also helps me with training. And we're kind of the Wonder Twins of Nelnet. We do a lot of training together, love doing this sort of stuff, and really love exploring things, kind of like we did here in the room, where a lot of people ask questions and we tried things out. So if we can ever help you with anything, you can email our general mailbox at accessibilityworkrequest@nelnet.net. Or you can always ping me on LinkedIn and continue the conversation. If you don't have any questions right now, add me to your list of folks because I'd love to keep up with all of you. So thank you all for being at Access U.